Welcome to this week's School Assembly. The Assembly this week is on aiming high. We're going to start off with a couple of announcements and then we'll lead into Mr. Huck and his fantasy football update. I hope you enjoy this week's Assembly.
Good morning everyone. It's a real pleasure to announce the winners of the DHSB STEAM Challenge competition this morning. So the challenge was for you to find an example of creativity in the community, and I want to say a really big well done to everybody who entered. There were entries from year group 7 up to 11 and the standard was really high. Mr. Adams, Mrs. Burden and I met virtually and we chose 3 winners, but we also have some entries that were highly commended, as well as everyone who submitted an entry to us being recognised through achieving certificates and commendations for their entries. So the first entry, which we decided was a winner, was from Sam Lord in A10. And we absolutely loved this image because it captured the real essence of finding something out in your local area. But the composition of this image is really fantastic. If you look at the statue, you can see look 2, but you can also almost see this sort of mirroring of the person standing just in front of the statue, also looking out to the water quite pensively. We love the way that you also had that wonderful kind of rusting colour of the statue against the brilliant blue sky. So a big well done to Sam. We had some really fantastic photography from Asheen Smith in 8C, who has captured nature so wonderfully here and really used tonal values to bring out the different shapes of the leaves, to show the light through the trees. So a really wonderful set of images that show his skill as a photographer. So well done to him. And our third winner was Isaac Surrey in 11S, who just created this image with the light coming through the grass blades, and the light itself and the grass just reminds us, I think, of how nature has been so important to us this year and how for many of us it's been a real source of solace in such difficult times. And we thought this was a wonderfully optimistic image because of the way that the light is shining down and just peeking through the grass. It's just full of hope. It's a really great image, so well done to Isaac. We also had some highly commended entries from Jai Wei Chen in 9P, from Sam Bancroft in 8C, from Kenzie Tritchett in 7P, Samuel Price in 8C, and Rowan Kirkpatrick in A10, as well as other really great entries. So well done to everyone who took part. Look out for your certificates and commendations for your fantastic entries, and there'll be prizes for the 3 main winners as well. Thanks again to Mrs. Burden and Mr. Adams for helping to judge the competition. And look out for all of the entries around the school. You will be able to see them, they'll be on display, and you will be able to appreciate the work created by other people. So a big well done to everyone and thank you for taking part.
Good morning everyone and welcome to the Fantasy Premier League update for today, the 2nd of December. So I'd like to share with you who the manager of the month for October was, the manager of the month for November, which was only decided the day before yesterday, and then the overall DHSB League standings, as well as the overall DHSB Staff League standings. So the manager of the month for October was actually Mr. Nab, who won it by 49 points, ahead of Sasha Sapelkin-Tamling in year 13 and Finley Smallshaw, who was in 3rd place. Here you can see me giving him his prize money a month ago. The manager of the month for November was Ben Marriott from 7C. He just was 9 points ahead of Sasha Sapelkin-Tamling again, 2nd place for the 2nd time running. And then Freddie Garstang from 9P was in 3rd place. Much tighter this time though. So Ben's money will be winging its way to him if he hasn't already got it. And the DHSB League standings, well, they show Sasha ahead, probably as expected because he's been 2nd 2 months running. And he's 8 points ahead of Ben. And Mr. Nab is still in 3rd place. The Staff League standings, they show Mr. Nab quite a bit ahead. Mr. Berryman in 2nd place with myself and Mr. Manley quite close behind. The second group of teachers is led by Mrs. Hook, and Mr. Roberts is slowly creeping up and is now in 11th place. And finally, we have 6 teachers in the bottom 6 positions. That's being led by Mr. Jenkins, and then Mr. Morris, who is struggling at the bottom. Thank you for listening today.
I truly believe that aiming high is about setting your bar high, having clear expectations, having resilience to bounce back, having clear drive, dreaming big, and having aspirations for the future. I want to show you this next video where you can see that famous people have gone through all these things and bounced back from failure by having resilience and drive and their aspirations. So, having your bar set high doesn't mean that you can't fail. But it's failure. What can we learn from failure? How can we change that and channel that into something that's good? You could see from that video that those famous people all had failure in their lives, but had the resilience and the drive to continue because their bar was set high. The next thing that I want to talk to you when you're aiming high is about time. Why do we put things off? Why don't we make time? What part of our day, what part of our lives is taken up that gets in the way of our goals and how we can achieve them? I want you to see from this one video that there is time in your life, but it's making the right decisions and using the time wisely in order to get the most out of your life.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years. 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood, and at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities, and another 720 days will go to community activities like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do?
Please pause the video and discuss. Do you use your time wisely? How do you prioritize? What could you do differently? Okay, so we talked about raising the bar. I want to just break that down into the B, the A, and the R. B equals balance. When you talked and discussed time, did you think about your schoolwork, your friends, your social life, your clubs, your family, and your rest time? How much of those did you prioritize? How much time did you give to each of those sections? Did you think about your schoolwork versus your friends? Did you think about your social life? Do you make time for yourself? The A is the attitude. How do you know if you have a positive attitude? How do you know if you've got drive? How do you know if you've got resilience? Where are your limits? Being told you can't do it should be the motivator to do it. The next video shows how much a positive attitude can change your life.
He sent me those first two pictures with the knee braces, the back brace, the canes, 297 pounds, and his belly was out to here. And I was thinking, God, how am I going to help that guy?
When you get what you want and not what you need. When you feel so tired that you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. And tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home.
So much weight that if I don't hold these up, they'll fall, and I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm really pleased with this, and I just want to share this with everybody. Thanks a lot.
too in love to let it go. But if you never try, you'll never know.
Here's where I'm at now.
Just what you wear.
Just because I can't do it today doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to do it someday.
And I will try to fix you. Tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. Tears stream down your face, tears stream down your face. I promise you I will learn from my mistakes. Tears stream down your face, lights will guide you home and ignite your bone, and I will try to fix you.
So, as part of this Aim High assembly, it leaves us with the R part of the raising the bar high. R for relationships. The relationship you have with your friends, are they a good influence? Are they positive? Or do they constantly look for faults? You should surround yourself with positive people. To raise the bar high, you need to have positive people around you. They should be supportive and they should be encouraging you to be the best person that you can be. If those people that you surround yourself with are not those type of people, I would suggest that these aren't your true friends and they won't help you on your path to be successful. In this last video, I wanted to show you a relationship between a father and a daughter. The encouragement, the tenacity and the drive gets the daughter to where she wants to be.
Funny. 이거는 미준이야. 바라보고 다니는 거지, 그렇지? 오케이. 뭐로?
I'd like you to pause the video and discuss with the tutor group, where will you set your bar for this year? Are you aiming high enough to achieve the best you can possibly achieve? What are the barriers? How can you overcome them? And how can you meet your goals which you've set for yourself?
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots. And you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
Thank you for today for watching this video. As you can see, I want to leave you with this last slide. Alicia Carson is just 18 years old, and she's already started her astronaut training to be the first person to walk on Mars in 2033. She's the youngest person to graduate from the Advanced Space Academy and is the only person in the world to have completed every NASA space camp. As you can tell, at 18 years old, she's dreaming big, she's aiming high, and she can prove that anything is possible. I want you to take away those things from this video today and this assembly so that you can do anything that you set your mind to. I want you to embrace failure. I want you to fall forward. Don't look back. I want you to do everything you possibly can do to be the best that you possibly can be. Thank you for listening. I've put this extension video in so you can take your discussions further about anything being possible. Please watch the short clip and then read the discussion points at the end to discuss in tutor time. Thank you.
Only very well. Gentlemen, contact with Atos. Go in 10 seconds. Atos. Okay, gentlemen, ready? Gentlemen, go. Okay, shoot for racetrack. Shoot for racetrack. Let's meet up.